Welcome Chef Gio's Latin Table. Today we are going to do papa rellena, or relleno de papa, depends what country you're from and how they call it. We are going to start searing our ground beef. We have 1 pound of ground beef. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of oil in, kind of eye that out. We're going to let that warm up. We do have, I'm going to be putting in there 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of garlic, and 1 teaspoon of granulated onion powder. That's all going to go into the mixture. I'm going to get this out and drop this in, get this cooking. We'll put this on kind of high to get it cooked kind of quickly. I don't need that much meat, so I'm just going to make a few rellenos today. But just so you could see, we're going to start entering our condiments. We're going to put this a little at a time. We're also going to put 1/4 of an onion and 1/4 of a green pepper. All right, our meat is nice and brown, so we're going to just finish adding a little bit more of the condiment that we separated before. And to give it that extra flavor, we're going to put some olives with the roasted red peppers in there. We're really going to take this back to our roots. We also prepared here some of the beef stock like we did last time to give it additional flavor. And basically it's a cup of water with about a tablespoon of beef stock. We mix that in there and we'll bring it to a boil and just finish cooking it off. All right, so I'm adding also here actually a total of 4 tablespoons of crushed tomatoes to give it more additional flavor. Before the meat is done, we are going to place it in the plate here. And we're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down before we start making those rellenos. It'll be too hot to start to boil in. All right, folks, this is the moment. Our meat has cooled down already. I did mashed potatoes earlier and I had to cool that down. Now, I didn't go through the whole motion of it, but basically, just cut the potatoes, boil it. When it's ready, then just have some heavy cream or some half and half with some half a stick of butter, melt it in there, pour it in, mash the potato. I did put now, I like to season the potato when I make my rellenos. So I have about half a teaspoon of garlic powder and half a teaspoon of also onion powder and some kosher salt there as well. So that's made already. Now we have here Panko breadcrumbs. Make sure when you're gonna do your rellenos, don't use regular breadcrumbs. Don't use it with season because a lot of it has Italian seasoning all the time. You want to make this your own. You want to go the Latin way and have a lot of flavor to it. So I have plain Panko breadcrumbs, and I have here half a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, and kosher salt. I'm gonna pour that in. I'll mix that in there. So our breadcrumbs is gonna have some flavor as well. Every bite you take, you're gonna have something that's gonna stand out and say, hey, taste me, it's good. So I have, I put in a cup of water with a cup of flour. I mix that up, and this is just gonna be to put the rellenos, dip it in there, and then we're gonna dip it into the panko breadcrumbs to get it nice and shaped and ready to fry. So I pretty much got a scoop here, and the way I do it, the potatoes gotta be cold, can't be warm, otherwise they're gonna not be stable, you're not gonna get no firmness out of it. So gotta let the potatoes cool down, boil it up, make as big or as small as you want, depending what type of event you're gonna do, if it's gonna be an appetizer or it's gonna be maybe a course, I don't know. Once you have it all boiled up, you're gonna kind of dip it in with your thumb and get the ground beef that we cooked earlier. I'm gonna stuff it in, and we are gonna try to cover that up nicely and re-ball it, reshape it. So we are taking our potato balls, and now we're gonna dip it in the flour and water that we mixed before, okay? And we're gonna bring it over, and we're gonna just kind of not put the ball inside the breadcrumbs, but we're gonna just mix it right in our hands because we don't want it to get clumped up. So we'll start forming the ball and gluing the panko onto the potato balls. And once it's done, if you want to give it another hand of panko with the slur that we did, the flour, you could do that, make it thicker. It's all entirely up to you. One should be good. Okay, folks, so we are going to drop the potato balls. Gotta be very careful. This is how I suggest you lay them in there. I have it on high. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit to a medium, and I'm gonna put them in there. You know when the oil is high, you see it rippling, and you're just gonna watch it and turn it. You gotta be careful so that it's not gonna burn on one side, and just move it around. Look at how beautiful these are, nice and golden. You can hear the crisp on it. This is gonna be delicious. All right, guys, this is the time we've been waiting for. I'm gonna plate the potato balls. I made a roasted red pepper sauce earlier today. I didn't go through the recipe how to make it, but I'll show you one day how to do this. I used to do this at the restaurant at Mi Havana, and it's kind of nostalgic for me to have my rellenos with my roasted red pepper sauce. And we'll plate that like that. Kind of gives it a nice flavor to there, and we'll put a little bit of this on top. I used to put some roasted red peppers also, but this is it. And we're gonna garnish it with our cilantro. There you go. Look how beautiful that looks. I'm gonna dig into this right now. I'm so hungry. Smell this is so great. And you could hear the little crunch on that texture of the panko. Great flavors, great texture. You have to make this for your family. Relleno de papa, you can't go wrong. It is our Latin staple. Make it now. Thank you for watching Gio's Latin Table. We'll see you soon.